I'm Bhavna. I work with Heads Up for Tails, and I'm with Adnaan Khan today, and we're talking about a few topics. The one right now, Adnaan, is okay. So we have multiple dogs at home, and we always have. They've been rescued. They've been, abandoned previously and then taken in by us. So while my dogs or our dogs are well socialized in general, I've been seeing in my community and around me that when people bring in a puppy into a house, they always think about socializing the puppy. But when they have an adult dog, and some people are adopting adult dogs, which is lovely, which is really nice to see, sometimes even senior dogs. So when people adopt older dogs, is there socialization that the dog needs to go through? If yes, how does one do it? Can you just tell me a little more about this?
Right. First of all, thank you so much again for having me on these chats. It's really helpful for the people watching, and hopefully a lot more can learn the right way. Now, when we're talking about socializing adult dogs, let's start with one assumption that they are adopted. Right? Or that, okay, even if we're starting with an adult dog, the assumption is that in the lockdown or regardless, people weren't able to socialize them properly, like they're coming to you at an older age. So what happens is that a lot of people will try to make like understanding from how the dog behaves and reacts and stuff like that, and they'll always try to change according to the dog. Just assume that they're not socialized to anything. Okay? So that basically means you're starting as a pup. Okay. The notion that people have that, okay, if you don't socialize a puppy at a young age, they will develop fears, that is also true, is absolutely true. But at the same point of time, what I like to say is that just because, in terms of humans, just because somebody did not finish their 12th grade at 17 and did it at 21, doesn't mean that they're uncoachable. Doesn't mean that you can't hire them, that they can't be acceptable in society. Absolutely. They just did it a bit later, right? Yeah. So if you're starting with a year-old dog, what might take you 2 months to socialize might take you 4, but that doesn't mean you don't do it, right? So, and the simplest way to do it, like we were also talking off this camera about a certain thing, that most people, the simplest thing to do is take your dog for walks. When you take your dog for walks, don't take them to the monotonous, mundane areas because of strays and other dogs and other problems and your convenience, and you want to really do one round so you can dump the dog and rush to office and get on with your day. Take your dog for walks like you're exploring, like main roads, markets, intense traffic, heavy areas. The idea is that you need to expose your dog every day to new stimulus.
Okay. But is that a part of socialization?
Yes.
Okay.
So now coming to the question of socialization, I think that there is a huge cloud of misunderstanding around socializing, that people think socialization basically means that I have a happy pup and every time they see a human, they just jump at them, they lick their face. Every time they see a dog, they just start running around and music starts playing, and that's joy, right? But socializing essentially does not mean that. Socializing does not mean partying with every dog you see or partying with every person you see. Yeah. For me, to put it simply, socialization basically means environmental soundness. It's not that I'm comfortable in my living room, but if I go out and there are 2 different people, then I get scared and I run away. Yeah. But it's also not necessary that if there are 2 different people, I need to jump at them and ask them their Aadhaar card and where they're from and all. I can be coexisting around them. Yeah. So ultimately, if we change the word from socialization to neutrality, being neutral and stable in every environment, for me counts as socializing.
Absolutely.
Now coming to this walks thing, first day if your dog is scared of some sheet moving, they'll get scared. Our impulse is never to cross that path again. My idea is to go there very neutrally, like you don't get scared, so you're passing off a confident energy to the dog. Yeah. First day the dog went, oh my god, okay. Next day like, oh shit. Third day is like, okay. Fourth day, like, okay, it keeps moving, I'm a bit scared, but my owner's not, so let me follow their lead. Yeah. Okay, same way as we would sort of desensitize someone to fear of dogs or lizards or whatever. So what's happening when you're walking past scary things? You're not stopping to let them think and panic or make their own opinion about it. You're well past it.
So a lot of what I hear you saying is that the socialization also comes from you.
Absolutely.
The cues that you give.
Absolutely.
And how it is that you treat or handle yourself in the outdoors.
Yeah.
Okay. But is there another aspect to socialization in terms of getting them acquainted with, say, other dogs outside?
Right.
In
So
the park?
yeah, so very important point is that for me, socializing the dog to other dogs and human beings, how it goes is that since I'm the owner and it's my pup or my adult dog, I'm always teaching that dog to focus at me, whether it's through treats or training or play or engagement or bond or walking. The dog should be focused and obsessed with their handler.
Okay.
Right? Now we have a relation where the dog is only looking at me, and a well socialized dog would let any dog, any puppy pass by without lunging at them positively or negatively. Whether lunging to make friends or lunging to make to bite, both of them are leash pulling behaviors. I want the dog to look, oh, dog's passing by, ignore because they've seen enough of it. They focus at me for food, toy, praise, engagement, whatever, and they let that stimulus pass. For me, that's a well socialized dog to stranger animals. When you're exposing your dog this way to tons and tons of animals outside, and your friend or cousin or family dog comes in to interact with them, they have a very high threshold and patience level because they're only meeting with their selective dogs who they're supposed to be okay with. So they're not going to be irritated, they're not going to be having those humping, mounting, lunging behaviors at our own internal 4-5 dogs that they're supposed to be okay with.
Okay.
Socializing outdoors to let them be neutral to other people and other dogs, thereby makes them friendly to our close circle of dogs and people that they should be meeting every day. Doing it wrong by letting them pull on the leash to make friends with 3, then fight with 3, and when we come back, if my cousin brings a dog, all that resentment and bad behavior will turn into a fight with my in-house dogs. And we'll have to separate them, and then obviously it goes in that different negative direction from there on.
Lovely, thank you. That was
so much.
insightful. And we've always had multiple dogs in the house, so I think a lot of this comes naturally to us in the family, but I think it's super helpful for people out there.
For sure.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us in this talk today with Adnaan. If you have any questions you'd like us to answer in the future, or if you have any topics you'd like us to discuss, write into us. If there are any other topics you'd love for us to bash out, like, comment and subscribe on this video, and we will see you next time.
Perfect. I say these 3 things always together and it becomes a standardized this thing cue.